All right, Alec, welcome to our
Hey,
Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
yeah,
Live and learn. Here we
hanging on the
go.
edge of tomorrow.
All right, so if you're new to the channel, we previously reviewed the last two Sonic films back in
We've
2020 and
reviewed.
2022, perfectly 2 years spaced apart each one.
Yeah, we've seen them all. We've seen them all, baby. That's pretty good.
So if you want to
All in
see
theaters
those,
too. All in theaters. How about that?
yeah, feel free to check them out on our channel. We're
Mm-hmm.
here to review Sonic
Mm-hmm.
the Hedgehog 3. Just came out recently. We actually have a bit of a double feature as far as reviews go because Mufasa and Sonic
Uh-huh.
3 came out the same day. So we're going to review both of them the same night. So
And I literally made it a double feature literally today, the day we were recording this. So
you
I
really did?
watched them both
Okay.
in theaters. Yeah. So
I watched Sonic like a weekend ago, and then I watched Mufasa yesterday. So
okay. And I watched it in the reverse order. I watched Mufasa. Saw Mufasa at like 10 a.m. this morning, and then I went and saw Sonic around 1.
okay, see if it has an effect on our
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know. I guess we're gonna see, won't we?
As always, with every review we do on the channel, we're going to do our gut check in the beginning, which is going to be we're going to hold up our score out of 10. We don't talk about our thoughts on the movies ahead of time at all, so you can come in fresh. So we'll reveal our scores out of 10, what we're thinking right now, and then we'll have time to talk, and we might change our scores. We'll lock them in at the end. All right. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, flip. So, wow, 9 with the spiky back.
With the spiky stuff.
7.5 for me.
Wow. Okay. I think that's worse than you gave Sonic 2.
Yeah, for me, this one's they're on par with the second one, but I don't know. I think something
Okay.
about the Sonic effect is worn off a little bit, so where I went down a little bit, but I could very easily go up to 8 for it, but it was between those two.
I couldn't disagree more, and the reason for that is just that like they actually did an adaptation of a Sonic game story. They weren't just sort of taking elements and characters and spinning it in this whole world. This is an adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, essentially in this setting. So it's not a 1-to-1 exact, nor would I want it to be, because Sonic Adventure 2 it does probably have the best like A story of a Sonic game, but like all the little side plots and stuff is like, who cares about? Like, oh, Knuckles and Rouge are trying to get the Master Emeralds. Like, I don't care about that. Like, you don't need that in a movie. Like, that's fine. Like the main
That'll
stuff
be
with
Sonic
with
6.
Shadow and Maria. Sonic 06.
That'll be the sixth one.
There was a reference to Sonic 06 in the score. They used Eggman's theme from Sonic 06 in the score for this movie, which I was very appreciative of.
Yeah.
As a big Sonic 06 fan, I guess you could say. I hate that game, but I also love it. So, but yeah, no, and in taking that and doing it exceptionally well, making all the emotional beats of that like work, making all of the stuff with Shadow just like worked like brilliantly. Like Keanu Reeves was incredible in this, and on top of that, then having Jim Carrey doing two people at the same time in a a pretty amusing fashion. It's again, this role of Robotnik does harken back to his older stuff, and he had like retired from acting or whatever, but then he came back for this again.
He retired after Sonic
So,
2. He said only for a very
Yeah.
special thing would have to pull me out of retirement.
Yeah.
And then
I
Sonic
think he said
3.
he said specifically a golden script, and then I think they like put like gold foil in like the script or something and sent that to him.
Really?
That was I think that was a thing that they did.
Oh,
So,
all right, they got him on a technicality.
yeah. Yeah, they got
I did enjoy
Yeah,
the Jim Carrey stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it, it was like hit or miss for me. I don't know. It felt like there was still some of that really cringy humor it mixed in there here and there. So it's like some stuff hit, some stuff didn't. But to me, it wasn't as great as everyone else seems to think it is. I think it's just like okay, it was okay. So I
This is easily I would go on a I would get on a soapbox and say this is probably the best video game movie ever made.
wow.
Easily. And I would probably have it kind of just ekes out what I would say the Super Mario Brothers movie for me in that regard. And I think it's just for the simple fact that it does a good job actually adapting the source material and making it like work um for a movie. And that doesn't always work particularly well. I mean, like movies have tried to do like basic plots of certain games and they just don't really nothing really gels. Um, but it worked pretty well, I think, in this. I think to its credit. Because I think maybe the one weak part of the Super Mario Brothers movie is just like the plot is very very basic. And I think
Uh-huh.
that does help it because that's getting us introduced to that sort of whatever they're going to be doing with that sort of world and that universe. Um, Works for that baseline entry, so now they can get kind of, which is sort of what the Sonic the Hedgehog original film did as well. It's very basic, very simple. It's fun. I would say it's a fine movie. It's not like amazing or anything, but it's a movie that I've shown to a few people that aren't like huge Sonic fans, and they've generally enjoyed it. Um, but I think each movie is really just done a better job at like really selling that kind of whole world and everything. And particularly in this one, I think that the all the stuff the Shadow just works really well in
Hmm.
in this movie.
Okay.
So
I feel you there. I mean, the plot is definitely a lot more compelling. I mean, obviously, yeah, based on they're working on it with reference, so it makes sense. Yeah, I just don't. I don't think I was never coming in with a nine. I was never even
yeah,
thinking that highly of it. I
I
was like,
I,
oh,
I only have that. I really only have that to make a statement. I'll probably come down from that, but I'm generally very positive about this movie.
hmm,
I think it's very very good. And I loved it. I think it was kind of a big love letter to the fans of Sonic, and I think that's you want to be careful with that sometimes. Um, I think that can be sometimes not the best thing in the world, but when you are able to sort of mesh it all together and make it work, so it's not just a fan service movie, but it does sort of stand on its own. It's got all the emotional beats. You get your little your little kitty lesson in there too. I mean, it's like kitty lesson, but it's a pretty good like it's a pretty good little message,
hmm,
that they have in they get fit in there. Um, and yeah, and then they've got all the awesome moments where they have like live and learn, and like the Chow
yeah.
Garden, and
What
so
song
like
were they singing
all
again
the
in the Child Garden?
I don't remember, but they made a Detective Pikachu reference, and that was hysterical.
Oh yeah.
Like some like one of the girls came in and was like, "Are you Detective Pikachu?" to Tails.
Hmm. But yeah, they were
um,
singing some random song. I forget what it was. That it was like took me by
I
surprise.
don't. I oh yeah. Oh yeah yeah yeah. Oh yeah. What was that song? Yeah, that was surprise. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise too. It was like a Japanese version of an English song,
Yeah.
but I don't remember. Um,
Dang.
yeah, I can't think off the top of my head,
That was nice. I
but
mean,
yeah, yeah.
Sonic creator doesn't want to do anything with Chow Garden, so throw it in there. Give it a bone. But
Yeah, give the chugger a bone.
and then they had the whole in the beginning, like the James Marsden, um, little like the little subplot where they went on in
Yep.
disguise, you know.
Hmm.
So I think they made a point of like really making sure to sideline that kind of stuff, like because I think they
Yeah.
heard that the whole wedding stuff from the last movie, people weren't maybe not a huge fan of, like the random stuff that has nothing to do with Sonic, like,
Yeah.
and so they really went all in on pure Sonic material, and then sidelined that stuff, got it out of the way in the beginning. So
Yeah, it only sort of is. It's not just there for comic relief, which is weird to say, but that's almost like the whole point of it in the like, especially in the last film. It was just like, let's cut back to the wedding and see what goofy shenanigans they getting up to this time. And this one, it's like they're only in the plot in so much as it's like it serves the emotional core of the film.
Right.
Um, and like there's like actual stakes with those characters that I thought was I appreciated. I kind of was like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if I know anything about these kind of movies, I know they're not going to kill off a main character, but I appreciate them like seeming like they might, because I mean they are focused a lot more on the actual like Hedgehog, the animated characters here. So maybe and they could get away with it. James Marsden's free to do his own thing now or whatever, but he did end up living. So, but
Hmm.
that was a key emotional thing in terms of Sonic's arc, in terms of him trying to, him kind of disregarding what he had said earlier, and not regarding his friends, and just like, no, I'm gonna go off and do this my own way now. That was good. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Um,
I think some of this stuff might not work as well for people who don't know the game. Like, I don't know this game specifically, like the plot of
mhm,
it that well. Like, I knew the Maria stuff generally, but
mhm.
I have a feeling like it might not hit as much for someone who has no idea, like the whole Maria stuff, because they gave it a little montage and everything. But I think most of the attachment you get for it is knowing, like already knowing that Maria and Shadow story. I don't know if it hits just by itself here. I'm not sure. Like without the
I
context.
think there's enough. I think there's enough of it. I think there's enough of it there, because like I've made it very publicly known. I'm not actually a big fan of Sonic Adventure 2. I think the game is kind of not very good, but I do think the story is good. That's kind of the one saving grace
Mm,
of Sonic Adventure 2. In terms of a Sonic the Hedgehog story, it probably has the best one. Um,
mm,
and maybe Sonic Adventure 1 is like an okay story. The Sonic Adventure 2 like does have those emotional stakes, with introducing Shadow and having his whole thing. Um I think I might be mistaken, but I think some of his some of the stuff in this film was also a little bit from Shadow the Hedgehog as well. Like him showing up in a black meteorite. So I don't know if
mm,
they're gonna have like the black arms or whatever they're called. They're gonna show up in a future film.
mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna have to fight this alien onslaught of them. I don't know if that's gonna happen or what, um,
Yeah, who
but
knows where they go with it.
they do sort of allude to that a little bit.
I mean,
Um,
I just think personally, I wasn't super invested in much of the Shadow and Maria stuff. The only thing that was really making me a little invested was just knowing that that's a thing, a pre-existing thing that fans care about. And in the movie, the context of the movie, I wasn't really like, ooh, this hits for me as someone who didn't play it. So I don't know.
I thought they did a great job with that, because they spent it wasn't just like, because I think I see what you're saying, but I felt like there was plenty of time spent on that. Because there was at least two or three. There was at least two, I think three flashbacks with him and Maria, and they were meaty. They weren't like just like a little tidbit here and there. It was like they went on for like a few minutes. So I don't know. I thought that's definitely enough to like get where he's coming from, and sort of understand that whole core. And I really liked how they touched on it again with Gerald, when sort of Gerald makes his turn against his grandson, where it's just like, oh yeah, all that, and then it's like, oh, but I thought I was family, and it's like, yeah, but you're not Maria though. No one can be Maria. So it's like you get the sense that like even Gerald Robotnik, this goofy, wacky Jim Carrey, does even at his core also care about Maria. And so like having all that sort of, I don't know. To me, I thought it worked really well. That like, because if they didn't have that line in it, I wouldn't really like. I don't know if I would feel as like that the movie tied it all together as well as it did.
Hmm.
I just felt like they did enough due diligence in the script to make all of it work um in under 2 hours. I think all of these Sonic movies have been under 2 hours, which is like
Yeah. Thank
kudos to that. You're nice and economical. You're not
you.
wasting our time. like 2.5 hours on a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Is like you're in and out, boom, 100 minutes,
Yeah, you
100,
gotta go fast.
10 minutes. You got to
Yeah,
go fast after all. So
they should be even quicker. They should be
they should be even faster.
edited like a Mr. Beast video, you know.
Oh, God.
But you know, I'm always grateful for a
I don't
movie
know.
that's 2 hours.
It worked for me, and I'm someone that like I don't even really like Sonic the Adventure 2 all that much.
Hmm.
But that's more a critique of the gameplay than anything else. I think the story of that is pretty good.
Well, clearly it worked for a lot of people. It's received very well. I might be an outlier in this.
Yeah.
It might just not work for me, but it hit like the because I came out of Sonic 2, ironically being more passionate, but I was thinking
Yeah.
that might also be the fact I was following up Sonic 1, so I had no expectations because I didn't like Sonic 1 at all. So, you know, I don't know. I think it might just kind of met expectations here rather than exceeding for me. But if it exceeded it for you, then that's great. I know the shadow stuff worked really well for a lot of people. I mean, the Robotnik stuff, I like a lot of the Robotnik stuff. You know, sometimes it's a bit too much. Like the whole they're played by the same actor thing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, some of that was maybe a little much. Yeah, but
it's fun. It's fun.
The one thing that was a bit much for me was actually his introduction. I was like, wow, he's just really lost himself, hasn't he? It's just
right.
Here he is. He's watching the same telenovela that was in the Knuckles show. Like that's the same show I think that was in that.
You like what they did to Wade in this movie?
Yeah, Wade just gets completely like he's just like, here I am, I'm the protector of the Master Emerald, and you took it from me, okay? And then he just was gone immediately.
That's all you get of him. The whole entire subject of the Knuckles miniseries.
I really want to. Where's Pistol Pete? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Where's Pistol Pete at?
But the question we now have after the credits, now it's just a running thing. Now at the end of every Sonic movie is what's the next character they're gonna tease at the end.
It was Metal Sonic and Amy Rose.
And Amy, yeah, that's gonna be hot.
So, well, my question for that is: Are we gonna do Sonic CD, because both of those characters come from that?
Ooh,
but like, how do you do the plot of Sonic CD?
Like, what is?
I don't know. So. It's time. Yeah, it's like time travel in that one. It's like,
oh no,
there's like a floating planet. I see. This is like all in the Sonic world, so I don't even know how you do that one. There's like a floating planet, and Dr. Eggman or Robotnik has like captured all the time stones, and he's basically
what's with the time stones? What? Well, there's so many different time stones in these things.
No, it's just the Chaos Emeralds and the time stones. Those are called the time stones because Sonic CD was being developed at the same time as Sonic 2, I think. So they hadn't like developed that as like a necessary lore at that point.
I feel like I've heard time stone in like multiple different things. Like they use that name a lot in different media.
The time stone. Yeah. The time stone is in Marvel. You know, there is a time stone, but that's one of the Infinity Stones. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the time stone. So Dr. Robotnik has the time stones, and he controls. Basically, he's like sets up like machines in the past, which create like basically he's like poisoning the past with like machines, and the present's got machines. And but like the goal of the game is like to go back to the past and destroy the machines, go to the present, destroy the machines, and then you can create a good future where you've gotten rid of all the machines, that like poison or churn out like evil robots and stuff. So the whole mechanic of the game is like going back to the past, doing stuff, and then going, and then you can enjoy the good future where there's like not a whole lot of enemies and it's a lot easier to navigate. But if you don't do that, then you have bad future, which is like a lot harder to navigate, and there's a lot more enemies and stuff. So
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how many Sonic plots can really translate to how they.
I don't think you can't really translate that plot. So I don't know what they're gonna do with this. Also, Shadow is still alive, so.
But it's like, yeah,
they tease that at the very, very end. So
I'm wondering how they'll do it.
He has to be.
Will they just like by Sonic 10? Is it like a comically large cast? Of, like,
Yeah, I
Like
don't
you got the
see.
bee guy and the,
I want them in the worst way. I want to see Silver the Hedgehog. I
oh
really do.
no,
I love
no, I
Silver.
don't think so.
I
There's
love
no
I
way.
love Silver so much. Here's the thing. Divorced from the game he's in, Silver the Hedgehog is actually a pretty good
I
character.
want I want to
He's just
see
future Trunks.
I want to see Big the Cat's dumbass and see them try to
I
work
want
him in there.
oh I would love that too. That would be wonderful. Hey, Froggy,
Played by
Froggy,
Sylvester
wake
Stallone.
up! Actually, you probably could. Did you know that the voice of Big the Cat was the same voice as Duke Nukem?
No, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Well, well. But just like think of characters
That'd
like
be
that, and
amazing.
like how are you gonna really integrate them in a compelling way? It's like
What
Amy
about Rouge?
Rose,
What about Rouge the Bat?
the bat is gonna go
You
crazy.
have this sexy character up on the screen. You gotta gotta make all these weird all these kids uncomfortable with
Like I really
um
have no idea where they're gonna take the stories with this. Like if they just are they gonna keep making the cast? Because
yeah.
now it's a precedent. Every post credit scene, what's the next character? What's the next character? I guess they could just do a thing like Metal Sonic, like what's the next villain, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the bring back Robotnik again. There he is again. He's back.
It's again, hey, it's
Yeah.
multiverse or whatever. Um I mean, they could. I guess theoretically, if they are gonna do a time stone plot,
Oh
if we've
no!
already exhausted Chaos
Already
Emeralds,
going dipping into the multiverse.
then we could dip in it. Well, multiverse is not necessarily time travel is not necessarily the same thing as the multiverse because it's the same timeline. You're not in a
We
different
don't know that
universe.
yet.
It's just
We don't know that yet.
no, we
It
don't.
depends how
I
they
sure hope we
make
we
it.
already. In fact, we kind of already do have like I guess it's not a multiverse. It's more just different planets or different dimensions. It might be different dimensions. I don't know, but like because we've seen wherever Sonic is from, he's an alien, and then there's like the Mushroom Hill zone, which is where Robotnik went
Hmm.
at the end of the first one.
But
So I don't
yeah,
know.
it seems like they want to keep staying on Earth, so it's gonna limit kind of what they can do with these characters, and it's gonna be weirder and weirder the more they add. I'm already really curious how they're gonna work Amy Rose into this, and
Yeah, well, she's already like more of a character than Amy Rose has ever been in almost any, except for Sonic Boom, in almost any Sonic media, because Amy Rose's character is just like she's a girl.
yeah,
That's it. That's her
yeah,
whole character. I'm a girl. I like shopping and cute things.
yeah.
That's it. That's Amy
You think they're
Rose.
gonna add a lot of
Not
depth to her in
everybody.
this next movie? It's gonna be like a
Maybe. I mean, they could.
deep love
I've been pleasantly uh I've been pleased with the characterizations that they've made for all of the characters
Mm.
so far in the Sonic canon. I think they did Shadow like probably the best service of any of them. I would say actually. Um,
Yeah.
he's the most like he is in the games. They do a great job of not making him like because I think the temptation could be to make it like as over the top edge as Shadow the Hedgehog kind of has been in the games. Particularly with Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, even though he does get his bike and gun in this movie from that game, and it's very cool. That whole scene is extremely cool. Um, it never felt like they were leaning as hard into that to make it like as goofy as it could be, and I kind of appreciated that because like you could do that. And I think you could make it work and make it fun,
Hmm.
but they leaned into it just enough to make people like me who love that dumb crap really fun. So
I think my favorite part is the live and learn thing. It's basically
yeah,
that is. I think that's just the best part.
it's such a brief period of the movie though.
Oh yeah,
It's
the best
but they did
part.
a great job. Yeah,
I love. I mean, I've always
there was
loved that song. Like,
yeah, everyone does.
and it's iconic that they made it like so prevalent in this movie. On the big screen, people are in the theaters hearing that live and learn at full volume.
Yeah, yeah, with performed by Jun Senyo too.
Hmm.
like that whole and the I can't remember the lead vocalist for that either, but um but yeah, no, that was amazing. So another thing that was fun too is that they may also made a reference to the beginning of Sonic Adventure 2 with the helicopter. It's like this place is boring. No, no movies, no in-game. It's like no, was it no in-flight movies, no snacks. I'm out of here. Like that's the first
Mhm.
line of Sonic Adventure 2, and he basically says that word for word. I think he says we're out of here because it's the Team Sonic is doing it instead of just him. But I was like, yay, we're hitting all the right points. We're hitting all the right hitting all the right beats. We even have a reference to the Chow Garden, everyone's favorite thing in the Sonic
Mhm.
games.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, this movie had so much like hype build up because of the shadow element. Or
Hmm.
I mean, Amy Rose doesn't hit nearly as hard. So I'm like, I wonder if what they can
No,
use to like
I,
get people to come for Sonic 4 now, or it's just like
I,
people like him enough, and that's it.
I think this is probably where I don't see a world in which this franchise can peak again more than it has already.
Not until Big the
I think
Cat's
it can
front and center on that damn poster.
not until Big the Cat. That's right. Yeah, you see Big the Cat here.
It's the movie is named
Because we get
after him.
because they went all out. I mean, we get a faithful Shadow the Hedgehog um and two performances by Jim Carrey. I mean, I don't think you can really ask for much more. That's the
There could
thing.
be
Is like
more Jim
Amy,
Carreys.
Me- Metal Sonic is a great character. Everyone loves Metal Sonic. I'm actually like kind of torn on Metal Sonic. I think Metal Sonic's a great villain for a video game, but like, what can you do with him in a movie? I mean, I guess we have like 100 of them or
I don't
whatever, so
know.
that's kind of
I don't
cool.
know why all these
But
weird guys are showing up on Earth anyway. All these
yeah, well, they're
aliens
gonna
are
have to
just
explain that.
populating more and more. Yeah.
We got Amy Rose now with a big hammer. What's she gonna do?
Why is she there?
Are we gonna see Cream the Rabbit? Are we gonna see
I don't
Espio
know.
the Chameleon? We should get deep cuts. We need Bean the Dynamite to show up.
I
We need
don't know what that
Dynamite
is.
Ducks to show up and just
Yeah, some of the
Ray
weird
the Flying
Sonic
Squirrel.
Riders motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, those weirdos,
It's like
those
the
freaks.
whole
Those
movie is
they're
like
actual freaks.
the whole movie is centered around like it's like a Sonic Riders storyline. It's all about
Oh,
like
jeez.
we gotta
Maybe they'll do a
compete.
spin-off TV show with Wade. Wade'll
Yeah,
join the Sonic. He'll join the Sonic Riders crew.
God
Those
willing, it will.
freaks.
Yeah, Wade. Yeah, it's just called Riders or something.
Well, so did you catch the guitar? So not only did they have Live and Learn in the movie, but the guitar the guitar riff that Maria is playing in like the very beginning of the movie that
Mhm.
is Live and Learn
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
well. That
That's
was
right.
so cool. I was like, oh, we're going there already. All right.
That's right. It's gonna
um,
turn into like the free bird of this universe. Everybody plays Live and Learn. Every
yeah.
movie.
I I also appreciated the monster movie that they were watching. The monster in that was the Bio Lizard, which is the final boss of Sonic Adventure 2.
Hmm.
And I'm very glad that Bio
Oh.
Lizard was not in this movie because I think it's really, really, really stupid. But I'm glad that they made a reference to it at least in the movie. That was cute.
Yeah. I always think it's interesting that like all these actors they are playing voice acting for this, like they have no
Hmm.
idea what's going on, right? It's like, what's he like?
Idris Elba, like
Yeah,
what's
I
Idris Elba, I
haven't.
think, is probably has the least knowledge of what's going on. Colleen O'Shaughnessy, this is just another day in the park for her
Right,
because like this is her element. Like she's been voicing Tails for like 15 years or
but
something.
like I haven't watched the
So
interviews and stuff. I'm just like curious. They have Keanu and Idris out on the press circuit. Like, it's like,
so I think actually it was one of Keanu's thing. I feel like I read somewhere that one of Keanu's things was that he wanted it to be like he wanted to make sure that like the fans were like sated, I guess you could say. Like he wanted to make sure it was like the performance was and the script was like adequate to give the
uh,
fans what they want. So
okay,
you see Keanu's a nice guy, he's like that.
yeah.
So and then Ben Schwartz is just being Ben Schwartz, and I love him. You can't hate him at all.
Mm.
He's just a goofy, fun guy. Um, On the press circuit recently, he was actually talking about how Chrono Trigger is one of his favorite games of all time, and I was like, "Yeah, boy, yeah."
Wow.
He was like, "It was like this is awesome. This awesome game," and he was talking all about it. I was like, "Oh, you're warming my heart there, Ben. That's
Wow.
great."
All right.
Tell the people about Chrono Trigger, please.
Tell the people.
Tell these normies about Chrono Trigger. I love it. Like it's like Robert Pattinson telling the normies about Final Fantasy VII, how much he loves that game. He like brought it up unprompted one time.
Wow.
So great. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
One
be here.
of us.
We'll be here at Sonic 4 in 2026.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Even
know
if
how it
it's
goes.
terrible, we'll be here.
We're due for another terrible one. Let's get it in. Let's go back.
I didn't think Sonic 1 was terrible. I just
I
didn't think
know.
it was. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good.
I'm
I gave it a 7, I think.
I'll keep
Pretty
being an
set.
outlier. I'll be the Sonic hater. I'll be the Sonic
That's okay.
hater.
I mean, I
we
think
need.
a lot of people didn't. I think a lot of people didn't like that one. So I don't think you were alone in that.
I remember looking. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Final score.
Final score.
3, 2, 1. Flip. 7.5. 8.5. Gotta go fast. Spin dash.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's tough to actually legitimately give it a 9 because like 9 is like true greatness. And was this movie true greatness? No, it just sated the fanboy in me. But I have to appreciate Game because it did a really good job at telling a story in despite all of that, which is what that's sort of how I feel about the Super Mario Brothers movie as well. So, so yeah.
Ironically, it's like Detective Pikachu territory for me. That was one of our earliest reviews. I gave it 7.5, and now I'm here with Sonic 3. I'm giving 7.5. 7.5 is still great. 7.5 and higher is always a movie I recommend.
Especially for a video game movie.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a good track record. We've had a good slate of years. The last few years have been really good.
Yeah.
So I hope we keep this going.
Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda next.
Yeah, Legend of Zelda's next. I mean, Borderlands was from what I hear, we didn't review it.
Yeah.
I heard it was not very good.
I watched it. Yeah.
From basic, you did. You put. How was it?
Yeah, it wasn't very good. No.
It was That's the unfortunate news that I've heard as well.
Happens.
Well, we got Minecraft to look forward to. Though, Zach. Have you seen the Minecraft
that's right.
trailer?
We're going back. Yeah, now we're going back down.
We're going
to the
back.
depths.
Yeah, now we're going back.
We're digging.
Did you see in the second trailer? He legitimately said,
"Oh yeah,
when I was a kid, I yearned for the mines." What the hell? Get that out of here!
That's gonna be awfully bad. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's gonna be ass. I'll just tell you right now, that's gonna be ass.
We need this sprinkled in there to ground us a little bit.
We gotta watch it. We have to watch it. We have to review it.
That's the one on the slate that we have to review for next year.
Yeah, it is. I haven't really looked forward to 2025 to know exactly what we have to review, but that is a have to review. So you will find that from us next May or whenever it's coming out.
That's a Tarqaron score of 8. All right, so it matched it. It matched Sonic 2 ultimately.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I have a feeling they're all gonna kind of average out for me moving forward. Like as long as they don't do anything egregious, they'll probably end up being. I'll probably give a similar score each time. Like it's gonna take something real crazy for me to go much higher.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see them being able to really top this film. I think they went all out in every department. Like I said, score, fan service, because the soundtrack is great. I mean, even aside from having Live and Learn, referencing all these other Sonic, because apparently Escape from the City is also referenced, which I didn't know. I didn't actually catch that one. I'm normally pretty good about have a good ear for that, but they did. It's listed in the credits. So
early on, they had the after he did the little race.
He did the race. I am Eggman is EGGMAN. I think that's his theme from Sonic Adventure 1. That's his ringtone. it's super fast. You have to you really have to know that really really well to know that that's what's
Okay.
being referenced. But yeah,
Here we go. Mario and Sonic holding it down.
yeah. Where's the crossover? That's gonna be the next big
You know
thing. The
they're
Mario
gonna
versus
they're gonna,
Sonic.
but they can't though. That's the that's the thing. Is like who's gonna agree to get the movie to be able to make it? You
Yeah.
know, they got two separate
Who's gonna get the yeah? Who gets the money?
two
Right.
separate things like Illumination working on Mario Bros. And a completely different
Hmm.
art style and everything. You know,
Yeah, it is totally
you can't just
different.
drop
Yeah.
Mario. You just drop Mario on Earth. You know, I don't
What
know.
is this place?
But they could, like, if they give them the rights. But as long as they're doing these movies, they won't give Sonic over to Illumination. You know,
No.
if they finish, like, somehow they actually stopped, then they could give him over, and they could go into that
Mm.
animation style, maybe.
I will also say another thing that I really appreciate is like just the Sega logo at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing like Valkyria Chronicles and like show up on the big screen in a movie
Yeah,
theater and like Yakuza. That's just like I'm just like I'll give me more of that. That like warms my heart
the
seeing
gamers,
that. I love that.
gamers stock
Yeah,
is rising.
yeah, I love it. I love that.
Yeah,
So keep it up, Sega. Keep it up.
Sega. All right. Well, there you have it. Stay tuned for more reviews on the channel, more discussions, games, shenanigans, series, a lot going on. And
Hmm.
within a couple days, the Mufasa review will be out as well. So check that out. In the
Yeah.
meantime, what video should the viewers check out next?
Go check out our review of the Super Mario Brothers movie. We
Mm-hmm.
reviewed that in
Mm-hmm.
2023.
All
So
right,
yeah.
check it out. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Like the video. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts on this movie. And until next time, we gotta get out of here.
Live and learn.